you should never think that it is hard to become unique or that it's hard to become successful in the world we live in, because if you really think about it, if you see what most people do, you see how most people act, it's easier than ever to separate yourself. It's easier than ever to stand out. It is easier than ever to become a part of that, 1%, like they call it, or to become someone that's successful for whatever standard that might be. I'm a college student, 20 years old, and you can really tell the people that grow up into being someone that's not really of importance, just because there's so many people that act the same. They just do the same things. They just kind of conform to society, if you will. But when you think about these things that is, normal for them, what is it? I want you to think about what it is that makes these things people think that they're okay. You got drinking, you got drugs, getting high, partying, staying up late, playing video games. And when you think about just these habits that are kind of like normalized now, this is what most people do. Like, I'm speaking from my generation, from what I see. This is what most people do. And so when you think about how you can separate yourself, how you can grow up and be different and be successful, it is way easier than you think. I'm this isn't even speaking for just my generation. I'm able to see that, right there pretty easily, because I'm in college, so I'm around it all the time. And the biggest thing I've learned is to just not be like everybody else. And I think a big problem with the world we live in today is a lot of people don't really know how. A lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know how to be themselves because they're so used to just doing what everyone else does or just being like someone else. And people love to just run in crowds. It's almost like they're afraid to be alone in a way. But personally, I think you need to be alone in order to really figure out who you are and what you are, who you are and what you are, who you are and what you like. If you're not alone, if you don't ever take the time to think about that, then how are you ever supposed to know? So that's always been an issue for me with what I see. And then people, complain about, I'm unhappy, I don't know my purpose, I don't know what to do. But you start to see the things that they do, they're not really making a change in their lives at all. So how can you separate yourself? How can you be successful for whatever standard that might be? How can you become part of that top 1%? And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's easier than ever. It is the easiest it's ever been, because we live in a world now where we're kind of creating bad habits. We're normalizing bad habits. And 20 years ago, most of those habits, obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but there's so many things that we do to occupy time instead of actually doing something productive. So you got video games, doom scrolling, mindless scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, whatever. And if you are doing that, I very much recommend that you stop, because while you might not even think about, it's not that bad, it's not that deep, think about how much more you could be doing. But instead, you're wasting your time just looking at what other people do, looking at memes, or looking at what your friends are doing. And it can really create just a very bad mindset, a very bad mental state, because you're just constantly feeding your mind just random shit, wacko stuff, random stuff. And it's just, I personally don't, I see what it does to, I see what it does to people, and I don't really see it getting any better unless you actually make the effort to stop. And but that's up to you. That's not to me, it's up to you. Obviously, I've been there, and I've learned that, I've realized how much time I've wasted with my life of just mindless things, of just distractions. You got video games. I can't even tell you how many hours I've spent of my life on video games. Way too much. And to think that that's something that, is kind of new in society. It's like, what were people doing before these came out? What else could I be doing that could help me improve my life, improve my productivity, improve my mental state. You know, there's so much more that you can learn about if you simply just stop doing what most people are doing. And so that's the main thing, is to literally just, it's so easy to separate yourself. Just simply don't do what everyone else is doing. And I'm speaking kind of general, but that's how it is, you know? Think about how most people dress. Think about how most people talk, how most people spend their free time, the hobbies people do. Just think about, you know, what those things are, you know? From what I see, most people here, especially college students, they don't really dress nice. You know, it's usually pajamas, just, you know, just a cozy fit, a throw-on fit. And yeah, again, you might not think it's that deep. But, you know, at the same time, you got to learn how to make yourself look presentable. You know, your image is very important from the way I see it. And yes, it's not needed to, you know, dress nice or fancy, you know, every single day and whatever you do. But still, you know, you're presenting yourself. And, you know, if you want to wear pajamas every day, and that's how you're going to present yourself, then fine, you know, that's up to you, not to me. But, you know, that's the thing. Just, you know, people dress like most people dress the same for the most part. You know, a lot of girls, I see them wear the exact same outfits, and that's fine, you know, whatever. But guys, you know, there's so much more that you could do to really enhance your image by simply just changing the way you dress. And I learned that, you know, I could upgrade the wardrobe a little bit, you know, started getting some nicer clothes here and there, but also just looking somewhat presentable, you know. It can really change a lot of the way people perceive you, the way people see you. And so another thing is, you know, think about how people talk. For some reason, it's like our dialect has just gone downhill, like tremendously within the past like 10 years. It's like most of the words we use are like phrases that you'll see in like a TikTok comment section, and it's just like it's amazing to me. It's like we don't really know how to speak English anymore, man. No, it's not that deep, but you know, it is at the same time. There's just so many more ways that you can, you know, hand gestures, you know, eye contact. Because most people don't really understand or really do these things or practice these things. And it's just these little things that can make you stand out so much more, so much easier. If you simply just, you know, just do it, you know, don't be like everybody else. And man, just learn to not, I think the phone is a big thing now. You know, everyone's addicted to their phones in a way where it's supposed to be a tool, right? You know, I wasn't born with this thing. It's not attached to my body. It's an object. It's technology that I've bought. So, you know, it shouldn't be something that is, you know, attached to me. I shouldn't have an attachment to this thing. It's simply just a tool that I can use to help my life, you know, help me, you know, learn things, or to help me explore things, or, you know, anything. You know, phones are very useful. But a lot of people have turned these phones into something that is almost like it's an attachment. They've allowed their phones to really like take over their lives. And, you know, when you see the way that people socialize, they can't go 5 minutes without pulling out their phone. And when you think about how bad that is, you know, it's not normal. So obviously a big one is just to learn to not create such an attachment with your phone. Learn to be present. Learn to, when you're with your friends, hanging out with your friends, or whenever you're talking to someone, learn to not pull out your phone mid-conversation. I've literally been mid-conversation with people, and they'll just pull out their phone and start looking at something else. It's like you know how rude that is? That's incredibly rude. But, you know, like, people don't even think of it. It's just like normalized now. You know, just little things that you can do to make yourself stand out. And you know, body language. Body language is a big one. I think a lot of people don't understand that we are not meant to, you know, slouch over. We're not meant to walk with our heads down on our phones all day. Like, we're meant to, you know, we have a body, we have a spine, we're meant to stand up straight, stand up tall, you know, shoulders back, head up. And just doing that, literally, I've noticed, like, when I walk with my head up, people think it's almost like weird that I don't know. It comes natural to me now because I'm kind of used to it, but it really does make you stand out, and it's kind of crazy to even say that. I guess just because people are so used to walking down with their heads down, or just kind of slouched over, and just little things that can make you just look way more presentable. So body language is a big one, especially for those younger folks out there around my age. Body language is so important, guys. I mean, I just want to say that people are always watching. People are always watching, and you never know who those people could be. It could be someone that might give you an opportunity, something greater than where you currently are. It could be someone that you can make a lifelong friendship with, and just present yourself in a way where like you're inviting, where you almost look like inviting for someone to come and talk to you. It starts with your body language. It starts with how you present yourself, and so that can go such a long way. So yeah, just think about what I want you to literally just think about what most people do. Like I've already said, in their free time. Think about the food people eat. That's a whole separate video that we talked about. I haven't done a crazy amount of research on it, but guys, the food in America, it's all got additives in it. It's just all meant to kept preserved and to last for a long time, and it's just terrible for you. And you wonder why America is just the most obese country in the world, or why we have the most obese population than ever before, is because the food that we make here is meant for money. It's all based on money. So you can either invest in obviously some better food, and that's it can be tough because a lot of the food you got to buy is it's more expensive. But just start cutting these things out of your, like, what are you doing going to the grocery store getting donuts? What are you doing going to the grocery store getting Twinkies? Like, I've actually seen people go to the grocery store and get zebra cakes. Zebra cakes? What is a zebra cake? Hey, I'm sorry if you feel offended right now, but just think about it. Think about what all right. Here's my mindset, and it really just clears the air for me completely when I think of it this way. Just think about what humans used to eat whenever we first existed, right? Before we could go drive down to the store and get McDonald's, before we could drive down the street and just grab zebra cakes. Like, think about what we had to do before it was so easy to get any kind of food. We had to work for it. We had to hunt. We had to explore. We had to go on adventures. We had to work for it, and that means you're not eating pretty much anything the entire day, right? You're eating one meal a day, maybe, if that, right? And yes, of course, we don't live in a time where we need to do that anymore. But this just goes to show that we aren't supposed to eat the way that a lot of people eat right now, and that is why there's so many people that are overweight. That's why there's so many people that are obese. And I'm not like calling anybody out, but I'm just saying this because it's not normal, and I don't want to sound rude. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I get it. People they're born a certain way, and it's harder for them to lose weight or whatever their situation might be. I completely understand that, but I want you to if you aren't really considering those eating habits, that's an easy first step, is to think about, do I really need to be eating this? Because I guarantee you don't. But yeah, Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights. That's all I gotta say. And guys, it really does. It fogs your mind. Whenever you put all this stuff in your body, this is your temple. This is your body. This is your temple, and you got to take care of it. So whenever you don't even know what you're eating, you're just kind of feeding yourself these random things that might look good at the grocery store or wherever, but they're totally unhealthy. And you see what happens later on in life. It catches up to you, whether you realize it now or not. It's going to catch up to you. So I do recommend changing those eating habits that most people eat, because most people eat like that. Most people will go to the grocery store and literally just get anything that looks good. And obviously, the thing is whenever you start to cut these things out, you will start to enjoy those foods that you might not think you like, right? Like, steak. Like, that's a good, get some meat, get some chicken. Who doesn't like chicken, right? But the more you eat it, you start to enjoy it more. So you just got to think of it. It's all about the mindset, right? Another thing is mindset. I feel like so many people just love to resort to just a loser mindset. I'm not saying all of you are losers, but that's just kind of the word I'm using to describe the mindset that most people have. And what I mean by that is just, they're so quick to just resort to anger, just resort to giving up, or just resort to not wanting to do more or explore or learn more about life or themselves. It's just so many people are just wanting to stay in their little box. And I completely get that, because it can be hard to get out of that box. It can be hard to get uncomfortable. And that's a problem. We're a little too comfortable nowadays. And a lot of people are they love that. They're scared to get uncomfortable. But this mindset is what separates successful people from normal people. And because that's all it is. It starts in the mind. It starts in the mind, and I've talked about this in previous videos. It starts in the mind. You got to visualize what you want. Visualize the kind of person you want to be. I'm not saying that as if, some gypsy shit. Like you can use the force and it's just automatically going to happen. But when you're able to visualize it, you're unlocking an image in your mind of what you could be like. You could literally, if you can visualize it, that means it's possible. And so when you can visualize it, you now understand that, okay, if this is the kind of person I want to be, if that's what I want to do, if I can see that, I'm going to have to start making some changes in my life. So if that were me, what are some things I would need to do to get there? So that's all about the mindset. And I think that's a great mindset to have if you're wanting to change. So that kind of like ties everything together, what we've just talked about, is just the mindset. So if you think that it is hard to, stand out or become a part of the 1% or become successful, it's really easier than ever. And I want you all to just think about what I've kind of brought up in this video, because it's all about the mindset. And whenever you're able to visualize it, make those changes in your life, you can stand out like a gem. You will stand out like a beacon in society. People will literally look at you like you're the man, even if you don't think so. But I'm not gonna say that because it's hard to be the man whenever you don't think you're the man. So it's all about the mindset. You gotta think of yourself highly. You gotta think that you are different. You gotta think that you're better. Not that you're better. Don't think that you're better than most. That's not at all what I meant to say. You gotta think that you're unique. Think that you are important. Think that you're someone who people can trust. Think that you're someone that people can look up to. All these things, can create just good habits in your life, and it can make you stand out so easily, because so many people are scared to just take that extra step. And when you take that extra step, put in a little bit of effort, that's all you gotta do. Put in a little bit of effort. You will win. You'll win. And that's all I got for y'all today. So I appreciate y'all watching this little post-gym thought video. I love doing these. I've been trying to be consistent lately. I appreciate y'all. We're almost at 100 subs. We're rolling. And I appreciate y'all's support with everything so far. I will be going to school in a week, so I'm going to try my best to maintain this consistent upload schedule while I'm at school. I will keep uploading. So I appreciate y'all watching, and I appreciate the support. I'll see y'all in the next video.